Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to my speech. And I'm talking about a person who's kind, friendly, and a little bit introverted, but wants to make a change in this world. That person is Miguel Vasquez. After talking to him for about an hour and a half on Zoom, I got to know a little bit about him. Now, Miguel Vasquez is a 22-year-old student here at Cochise College. And I'll be talking about his past, present, and future with you today. Miguel was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and he loved it there. When I asked to describe El Paso, he said, quote, kind of like a city in a desert, end quote. I found that quite interesting. So when I asked Miguel Vasquez what was his favorite thing about El Paso, he talked about when he was in high school, he got to experience this thing called a tech school. And what's actually quite impressive about this tech school is that only the top percent of students are able to get into this program, to get into this school. And he loved it there. So when I asked what makes this tech school different than high school, he explained that it's more hands-on, very similar to college, which I actually quite found interesting. So going back in time, I learned that Miguel has a love for theater, same as me. And he had summer camps in Texas where they did theater. And one of the things they did was plays, but kind of like fantasy Dr. Phil, as he described it. So now going back to tech school, he explained that this is where he learned to develop his love and something that he wants to do in his future. But we'll get onto that later. So Miguel is a general media major here at Cochise College. Something that he wants to do is go into art, go into graphic design, as he explained it to me. And that's what he's majoring in, taking classes on graphic design, art, drawing, things like that. Now, Miguel actually does not like sports, which I found interesting because I thought everyone loves sports, but he did not, which, is fine. Now, Miguel is kind of an introvert. He doesn't like speaking because he has his fear. But I know that one day he'll be able to overcome it. To be able to hit where he can communicate with people, whether or not be through words, but through his actions, which I hope that he's able to do. Now, Miguel and I have something very similar in common. We love music, specifically jazz, whether it be smooth or show jazz, and I love show jazz. My brother was in a show band to go along with that, to do with that, and that inspired my love, and I hope that he takes that love of jazz and he can use it throughout his life. Finally, something Miguel wants to do for his future is to make comics and tell stories through his art. Whether it be Marvel or DC, very similar. He wants to do it where he can create his own stories. And I hope he does that because he has this artistic endeavor about him. So throughout learning about Miguel's life, through his past, present, and future goals, I learned a lot. That Miguel is a very kind and hardworking individual. That he takes the time to make an effort to make that change in the world, and hopefully through his art. It may not be now, it may not be next week, next month, next year, but he will make that change, tell people stories through his art. And I hope that he does so very soon.